March 9th. At 7:20 p.m., one of the most shocking and twisted incidents ever recorded befell Sarah Murphy and her father. Their ordeal lasted 88 minutes. Witness these true events in real time.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, sweetie. I checked your Facebook page. What's his name wrote on your wall again?
God, I should never have added you. How long's it been since you were out here?
Still a long time. Years.
What are you doing here now?
When I walked into the theater to see Silent House, I was eager, open-minded, and to be honest, a bit scared. But upon watching the movie, I felt betrayed. What I had hoped to be 88 minutes of me clinging to my chair in fright turned into a slow-moving plot full of questionable twists that, instead of filling me with terror, made me roll my eyes. We open on an overhead shot of our main character, Sarah, played by Elizabeth Olsen, the only Olsen child still visible from the side, as it were, and follow her up to her family's lakeside retreat, where she and her father, played by Adam Trace, who also seem like sort of a shot in the dark, are fixing the place up to sell. After a weird exchange with a girl that claims to be her childhood best friend, Sarah heads inside to pack up her things in her old bedroom, alone, in the dark. Everything is going smoothly, or as smoothly as things can go in a horror movie where you're alone in the dark and blonde, until Sarah starts to hear loud noises around the house that was before silent. She soon finds that her father has been knocked unconscious and that she is obviously not the only thing in the house. Because of the movie's real-time effect, we feel just as much at peril as Olsen. Things become increasingly more intense and terrifying as she comes to find out that there is no way out of the house, even after trying all the windows and all of the doors. Olsen spends the next 78 minutes running away, screaming, and imploring people not to go back to the scary old house, but failing to convince them each time. It was like an episode of Scooby-Doo. No matter how many times you warn the gang, they're still going to explore the creaky mansion. But in this case, that decision will most likely lead to their death. Silent House is definitely not what I expected it to be. I had much higher hopes for it, actually. I will say that Elizabeth Olsen did a pretty good job of being helpless, even though the movie was definitely not as impressive as her fear was. Some people start at Full House and others start at Silent House. Regardless, I think they both end the same way. Unsatisfying. I'm not saying that I need more Full House, and neither is anyone. But multiple times during the movie, I found myself thinking, is it over yet? What else could they possibly do here? And yet it continued relentlessly, like Full House. In all honesty, if you're craving an 88-minute adventure that leaves you throwing your hands up and shouting to the screen, why? Then this movie is certainly for you. But I personally don't think this movie was worth the price of admission. Sorry, Chris Kentis, maybe sharks were more your thing. But if you do decide to view it, it's out in theaters now.
Yeah, this movie hurt my head. Like, I really did not like it at all.
I felt like they belittled me with that movie, and I felt semi-nauseous with all of the crazy camera stuff that was going on.
The camera the whole one shot itself was weird. I didn't really feel like one shot. I feel like there was some post-production, some editing done in there, even though they claimed, But I just felt like it was leading to nothing in the end. I just, like, halfway through the movie, I was like, okay, I don't care about the characters and I don't care about the story. Like where is this going? I just don't care.
Absolutely. And it was just out of focus and weird. And several times it just plateaued completely. It just stopped.
Plateau.
And you were just stuck sitting there and thinking, is this the climax? Are we there yet? It was just sort of weird.
I just didn't feel... I just didn't, like, when I go to a film, I want to become emotionally invested in the story and the characters. Yeah. This did not do that for me at all. Like, this was a bad movie. I did not like it at all.
Well, then again, if you consider the dialogue or lack of dialogue, it was mostly like screaming and what I've coined to be laugh crying, because she's like freaking out so much that it looks like she's crying.
No, it's actually funny because there were a couple of times where I'm like, okay, is she like actually laughing or is she crying? I'm like, or just really bad acting.
Just made it hard to get invested. And I don't know if you know this, but it's a remake, and I'm kind of curious to see the original. But then again, after seeing this
complete abomination, like,
I mean, I'm still slightly invested, but more not.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like it. I mean, there's not really much else to really say. I think that the film itself will still do well because it's a horror movie, and I think a lot of people like to see horror movies. But again, I just didn't really like the film. So
well,
yeah.
it's out in theaters now, so feel free to see it.
Yeah.